I decided to start getting in front of the camera as I speak. Anyways, I'm currently working on a game called Lightblade, a 3D of the first game that I had ever made, which is in the description if you want to play it. But don't expect the best game ever, it was for like a 30-day game jam, so I didn't have exactly a lot of time to learn about game development or make a good art style. As far as the work for the current Lightblade is, now that I have the player character and some of the sprites done in my previous shorts, I guess it's time to start working on the first room of the game. The first thing that I will need to achieve a room close to what Silksong or Hollow Knight have is parallax. Using parallax, we will make the stuff further away from the camera move slower, but the stuff that is closer to the camera move faster. To keep things nice and tidy, I will need some individual layers to put each object on, so that we can easily keep track of where they are and even automate some of the processes, like darkening the sprites as they get closer to the camera. And these are the layers. One is for collision, one is the main layer, one is a dark layer that is just completely dark and as close to the camera as possible, and one is a background layer which will probably be used for a solid color, and the rest are some filler layers in between. Now the only thing that I need to do is put some of the sprites that I have already drawn in here and we should be good to go, right? Well, as it turns out, what I thought would be the easy, tedious part ended up becoming the complicated, error-prone, still tedious part of this project. I started by fully making the first layer, which, after a good deal of effort, looks pretty good. From here on out though, I started to make all the layers at the same time in order to cut down on how much I will have to fix things later. This is where the tedious part really starts. I will now need to make sure that the sprites look good from every angle, not just one because of the parallax. Because of this, it took me a while to get the first bit of floor done, but once I got through it, I saw some amazing progress. Then I just went up the walls, making sure the moss didn't leave any gaps, and finished with the ceiling, and now we have all the terrain done. Then I just spent some time adding some details like grass and vines. It didn't take all that much time and by the end the world was way more alive. Now for the actual challenging part, the background. As for now it is just blue. Now it might not seem like it, but making good background is really hard. You kinda need to make a bunch of sprites to put there, but I don't have any good background sprites and I suck at drawing them, so it will probably take me like 10 days. I tried so many things, like making the background just moss sprites, which looked bad, putting some stone, which looked bad. It just kept looking bad no matter what I did. Finally, I decided to make a blur shader, and this is how I made it. I took the sprite and I copied it 8 times around it. I know, I'm a genius that totally didn't need to look up a tutorial. But it doesn't matter at the end of the day. When we add this to a sprite, it goes blurry. It still took me a long time to find a good thing to put in the background, but I eventually thought of this bridge and I think it looks good enough to leave as is. Now, I know the background isn't exactly up to standard, so to make up for it, I decided to make a secret room. The idea is pretty simple. We hide the room and when the player finds it, we fully reveal it. It actually wasn't that hard, I just added some extra layers, put some sprites on there and did some code and now they disappear. Did some more code and now fixed the code and now they fade out. Putting everything that I had made together, we get this. I feel like I did a great job making this first room. How much did it take me to make this? Oh, it took me 2 weeks. At this rate, if I want 100 total rooms, I will have to spend about 4 years just making the map. That's not good. That's actually pretty bad. So I guess I will take a quick break from making the rooms and maybe make them a bit less detailed. In the next devlog I'm planning to make the first enemy mods, so I guess you can do the YouTube things to encourage me. That's all, bye.